There we go. Well, hey there, y'all. I am Juliette Miranda, and you're watching Bourbon Soaked Live, the best place to be on a Monday night on YouTube for cocktails and conversation. And hanging out behind the scenes, the deep, dark, handsome, sexy voice of the show, David, the producer.
I must owe you money. Or you must want money. One of the two.
No, I'm good. I got new sunglasses. So life
Yeah,
is
you
good.
did. Yeah, Mama went on a shopping spree.
Indeed. So how's my producer doing tonight?
Awesome. Great to have a week off. Nice to just decompress and hang out at the cabana and get a little bit of sun, do a little bit of gambling.
We took a week off. It's why I wasn't on last Monday night, is because David, the producer, and I decided to head on down to Lake Charles, Louisiana for a couple days of gambling and poolside hangs and a whole lot of drinking. Whew.
But there wasn't that much drinking.
No, that final night there was, if you will recall, because we did the cabana, we got all the drinks there. Then we went out to dinner, got the bottle of wine there. Then we capped off the night with all of the bourbon. So, you know.
I must have blacked out, or as I like to call, time travel.
You did. You time traveled.
Yes.
Fortunately, we're here tonight, and our topic of conversation is going to be bad mistakes. These are the things that we look back on and say, oh, I should have known better. And we're going to be talking all about them. But before we do that, let's say hi to who may be hanging out in the chat. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I saw our friend Larry is here. He's a good friend of actually David, the producers. They've known each other for quite some time. But the gold star of the night goes to Not a Great Gamer, who was the first one in the chat. So cheers to you, sir.
Yes, and we have Dr. Fish with us. We have Ganna, the ever wonderful, lovely Ganna. We have Roger Wakefield here with us.
And I see that Richie Z has joined us and Charles Ashworth. Well, it's going to be a great night, so make sure you tell your friends. Share the stream.
Share.
This is one thing that's definitely good to share. And also make sure you'll like it, give it that big old thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Because seriously, why aren't you?
I think the people that are here probably subscribe, but you never know.
You never know.
Never know.
Patrick Fulmer has just joined us as well. So cheers to you, sir. Now, what do you say we talk about a little bit of bourbon, David, the producer?
Oh, absolutely. It's all you.
It is. I'm drinking something seriously good today. And surprising. It's Wild Turkey's Long Branch. And I didn't really think I was going to like this, and here's why. It's a collaboration between, the Wild Turkey family, the Russells, and Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, that actor dude, the one who does all those obnoxious car commercials. He's wearing a fancy gold watch and he's speaking all heady and romantic about the car he's driving. Apparently, he also has a thing for bourbon. And it's really good. It's a low-proof bourbon. It's only about 86% or 86 proof, which makes it incredibly smooth. But here's what's a little bit different about this one. It's got charcoal filtration going on. So it's a two-step process. First, they do the traditional charcoal filtration, and then they do a charcoal filtration made from Texas mesquite wood. So this gives it kind of a smokiness to it that's a little different. It's not overwhelming. I mean, it's not like, you're inhaling a campfire or anything like that. It's actually really pleasant. I mean, you get that basic bourbon flavor, very Wild Turkey, still get the spice in it, but it's just a little bit more mellow, a little bit more smooth. And I'm totally digging it.
I opened it up last night just to, take a little nip, see what was going on there. And it was fantastic. I really liked it.
Yeah, it's surprising. Like I said, I didn't think I was going to be all that, into it. But also one thing to note is that it's about 8 years old. So I think that gives it a little bit more of that softened flavor. It's not as wily as, like, say,
Wiley.
The 101. This is definitely a more mature, easy drinker. So cheers, y'all.
Darn tasty.
Fuck yeah.
We're going to plow right through that bottle.
I know. I mean, it's such a low proof that it's like we're just drinking water or something.
Yeah, water.
So I see Container Man has joined us. Kurt Robbins is here. I believe this is Kurt's first time hanging out with us, or at least the first time I've noticed you hanging out in the chat. So thanks for joining us. Kurt does all sorts of great stuff. You got to check him out on Twitter. He's got a lot of great, like marijuana education and white papers. Really cool stuff. So definitely give him a look. Richie Z is here. I think I called him out already.
Mm-hmm.
Container Man is working right now, so he's not drinking, which is sad but true. And we're going to be talking about bad decisions.
Oh, there's plenty of them in my life.
There is. And I have one to call out.
Me producing this show?
Is that a bad decision, my love?
Well, not by me, but by you selecting me. How about that?
Oh, I see. No, I'm perfectly comfortable with this decision as of right now, but who knows what will happen at the end of the stream.
I'll check back with you in an hour.
But I do have something to call out about David the producer that isn't even on our little cheat sheet notes today.
Uh-oh.
And it has to do with the new house and the balconies and a particular piece of essential gear that he left out on the balcony in the middle of a rainstorm.
You know, I have no excuse.
You have zero excuse.
Are you going to start with my bad mistake?
I am.
You suck.
You love me.
Oh, all right. It was a huge mistake. So I was working out in the balcony. I had my Mac out there. The Mac that we just so happened to run the show off of.
Right, that one. The one that's crucial to everything we do here.
Yes, that one.
That's the one.
And it started to rain. I totally forgot I left it outside.
Yeah.
And by the time that I got out there,
soaked.
It was waterlogged.
Completely waterlogged.
But you know what? It still works.
I know. I cannot believe that this thing works. It's a testament to the machinery of this thing. Although the monitor is a little fucked up now.
Just a little. It's got a couple of white spots.
A couple of white spots, no big deal. You know, you don't need to see the screen or anything.
They're called sexy Mac freckles, is what I like to call them.
Sexy Mac freckles.
Yes.
I like that.
My Mac now has, little attitude.
Yeah. Great.
Oops.
So Richie ZAC is having some rye whiskey tonight, the Lock, Stock, and Barrel. I haven't had that one, so you're going to have to let me know how it is. I keep seeing it on the shelves, and I just haven't picked up a bottle of it. So if it's good, let me know.
Ganna says, good job, David. Yeah, that was such a fuck up. I mean, a monstrous
one.
Fuck up.
But David, the producer, is not the only person who does things like this. I know y'all have your own stories, so make sure you share them in the chat so we can talk about them and I'll make fun of you.
Charles Ashworth says, leftover from watching porn. Yeah, I can't watch porn on my balcony because I'm outdoors. That would probably be a bad thing.
We're pretty isolated back here, though. I mean, if it was dark out and you had a blanket over you.
I'm not going to walk around like a penguin with my pants around my ankles on the balcony they put me away.
Although that would make for an interesting topic. Is it a bad decision to
jerk off in public?
Jerk off in public?
I'm going to go with yes, right off the bat.
Actually, I was about to say I've never done that, but I actually have done that.
You masturbated in public?
I did. Well, it wasn't entirely in public. It was at work in a closed office.
Oh, well, that's different.
So it's not quite in public.
Closed locked door?
It was not a locked door.
Oh, dangerous.
Yeah. And it was, I had a friend who was IMing me dirty things. So,
there you go.
That was a fun moment.
I'd freak out. I could never jerk off at work.
It's so hard for guys, though, right? I mean, you've got all this, machinery happening.
Well, not really, because since I work at home, I could jerk off anytime I want to work, I guess.
No, I mean the whole technicalities of doing it in public for man versus woman. For a woman, I mean, it's pretty self-contained.
Sure.
You could probably do it and not get caught. But guys, there's a whole lot more going on.
Oh, yeah. There's arm movements. There's waving. There's sweating. There's swearing at people next to you.
I'm not saying do it on an airplane.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was the best place to do it.
Charles Ashworth says that he had a guy in summer school do that in class and that it was very weird.
Yeah, jerk off in summer school?
Ew.
You know what? Let's just
Why?
say that's exactly why he was in summer school.
I mean, what's happening in summer school? That, I mean, either you're so dramatically bored or something's being taught that is, ultra sexy and he just couldn't resist it. In which case, cheers.
Patrick Fulmer says underwater. Yeah, water doesn't make for good lubrication.
We've had this discussion before,
Yeah.
and I think the general consensus is
No
don't do
sex
it in
in
water.
Yeah. No,
It's
no,
just
no, no, no.
unpleasant for everybody involved.
That's right.
Richie Z was giving me an update on the Lock, Stock, and Barrel. Says it's the 13-year-old. Definitely worth picking up if you like rye. Well, I love rye, so I'm definitely going to have to check that out.
Yeah, we have to find a place where we can actually buy this shit because it's so hard down here in New Orleans. There's very few places.
Harder than I expected. Like, we've got a couple places that we can go to where we get our favorites. And then they occasionally have a couple more interesting bottles. I found a great local bourbon that I really enjoy. But yeah, some of our more limited releases we're just not seeing here. Or if we do, the price is so jacked up, it's obscene.
By the way, Richie Z said that he had a couple of girlfriends in the past that wanted him to jerk off in front of them.
Well, some girls like that. It's a sexy thing to some people.
As long as you warn them, watch your eyes, divert your eyes.
You don't get it in your eyes.
Yeah.
It burns.
Is that why people are wearing masks on planes now, by the way?
That's exactly why they're wearing masks on planes now.
So they don't get Jack all over them?
Well, it is practical, right?
That's right. Mike Myers here, he says, this one time at band camp.
Of course it was at band camp. Kurt Robbins says the psychotherapist with a swimming pool in LA was pretty fun. Oh, it
I don't
sounds
know
like
if I
we
want
need
to be
a little...
analyzed while I'm jerking it, though.
Yeah. You know what? That would actually make me have more of a complex after the fact.
Right? It's like, I promise I wasn't thinking about my mom.
You had to go there.
It was a psychotherapist joke. I had
Yeah,
to.
that was just gross. Way to kill the conversation, David, the producer.
That's what I do.
So I think a common mistake that we all make is in going into something thinking that it's going to be awesome, having all the facts, and then making perhaps a really stupid decision. And for here, I'm going to say eating hot wings. And this is something that we're both guilty of.
Yes. I actually went to a place where I had to sign a waiver to be stupid.
Yes. So you have all the facts.
I know.
You know that going into this, it's probably not the best thing to do, but you do it anyway.
You know what, though? It's that hubris that people have, right? You're like, I got this.
Mm-hmm.
No chicken wing is going to take me down.
Completely underestimating your digestive system.
Right. And then you go there, you eat the wings, you shit blood for 6 days, and then you go, I guess I was wrong.
Well, I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah, that's a mistake you make once.
Somebody's going to have to explain to me the appeal of all this super hot food. Like, I enjoy hot sauce, but I like it when it adds a little bit of like twang to my food, which is why I love Louisiana Crystal hot sauce.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that kick.
Well, it's a vinegar.
It's
taste.
vinegar based, and it's just got a little bit of a kick to it without making you want to die.
That's right. You don't bleed from your eyes. You don't, have any issues. I had to literally take the next day off of work after I had done those chicken wings. I signed the waiver for. Yeah, it was a place in Pittsburgh that was like just this unassuming place that everyone wanted to go to.
Known for their hot wings.
Right. I know.
Yeah, there's another bad mistake.
Well, that should have been my red flag, but
precisely. See, this is where we're going with this conversation topic here tonight, folks. Yes, Kurt, the machismo of hot wing culture. And that's exactly what it is. You go in there thinking you're going to be this badass, and you come out a weeping, crippled little child.
Yep. I've been there in a bad way.
I will occasionally get that way. Not about eating hot food, but about eating a lot of food. If there were, say, to be a macaroni and cheese eating competition to see how much you could put back, I would totally do it, because I always believe I can eat the entire pan of macaroni and cheese. And then I do, and I regret it. Like, you just get that horrible feeling, that awful, disturbing grumble, and you go, oh, fuck me, what have I done?
Yep. I want to go back to Mike Myers says, I'm too Swedish for really hot stuff. And then Larry says Schittsburg. And yes, you were correct.
Whew.
I should have renamed it.
I see that Swami, also known as Malton in Montreal, has joined us.
Cheers, Swami.
We're talking about bad decisions. And right now, those bad decisions are centered on food.
Oof. We made one really, really bad decision when we went to Chinatown.
Chicken feet.
We're very adventurous in what we eat. Very adventurous.
I will pretty much try anything. I will. I love food. And when I saw them on another table, I didn't know that they were chicken feet. I just thought it looked interesting. So I pointed to it and I'm like, bring me that. And the waiter's like, no, you don't want that. And I'm like, no, bring it here, buddy. And he's like, all right, you asked for it. So we got a bowl full of chicken feet.
The most gelatinous, disgusting.
Oh
my God, chicken feet are the worst.
It's so weird. I don't understand the appeal of them. It's literally a chicken foot. We're not talking about something that's called a chicken foot that just looks like one. It's actually a chicken foot, bones and all.
Yeah.
It's in this weird
and nail.
And yeah, a little chicken nail too. Yeah. And you just like, you chew on it, and it's just so legitimately like eating a chicken.
It's so off-putting that you and I had to stop eating our entire meal and just get the check and say, let's go get some sake next door.
I mean, it was like a leggy high five. It was just so creepy and weird.
Yeah. Malton in Montreal says, I'll try anything except whitefish. Huh.
I'm sorry, whitefish? Is this something that I'm not aware of, or are we just talking about all whitefish?
Just regular all whitefish.
Tilapia, cod, shark.
It seems very, plain.
He says, I can't stand any white fish meat.
Ah.
Huh. That's really weird.
In aversion to whitefish meat.
I don't understand it. What is it? Is it a texture thing? Is it a flavor thing? I mean, they all taste different, and they all have different textures. So you're going to have to clarify. I'm calling you out on this, Swami. Makes zero sense to me.
Container Man says, I love Rocky Mountain oysters. Yeah, I tried them once. And,
I did too.
Being adventurous, I'm like, sure, I'll taste balls. Let's see how it tastes. And it was spongy and disgusting. It was spongy and
weird. Yeah, maybe it just wasn't prepared well. Perhaps there's a delicacy somewhere on the planet where they're just, deep fried to perfection, and you pop
think there's
them
some chef out there that's, saying, I want to specialize in making the balls the best they can be?
Yes, somebody wants to make the balls the best they can be. Hashtag making the balls the best they can be. Container Man says, shark tastes like chicken to me. And Malton in Montreal clarifies and says, smell and flavor and too fishy.
I get it.
If it's fresh, it's not going to taste like fish. It's going to taste far different.
You listen, Canada, they get fresh fish. They have tons of lakes up there.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I thought Canada was just some weird,
They're not just our funny top hat.
We're like
to America.
Oompa ran free.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, they have lakes.
They have lakes. All right. Well, then that's probably the problem. Lake fish is definitely not quite as good as fresh ocean fish. It's true.
Yeah, depends on what you like, right?
True. All right. I'll give you a pass, Swami.
Mike says I'll pass on the balls. Hey, you know what? Bold statement, Mike.
Yeah, well, in so many respects. It can be a big mistake in a lot of ways.
Hate perch, cod, pike, and bass. Okay, he's very specific there.
All right,
Okay.
well, I'll give you that. I'm not a big fan of bass, although that is something. So when I was a kid, my dad and my grandpa and I used to go out on the lake and go fishing, and we'd catch bass. And then my grandfather taught me how to clean a fish, and then we'd cook it up in a frying pan out on a little like flame outside. It probably wasn't all that delicious, but I loved it because it was just the whole moment of it.
It was the experience that we were really going for, right?
And I'll tell you, learning how to clean a fish is one of the better skills I've learned as a child.
I should have learned that in high school when I was dating some of those chicks. Oof.
Ew, really?
Yeah,
you had to go there?
Yeah, of course I did.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Let's see. We've got some questions about what people are drinking tonight. Richie Z wants to know who's drinking good stuff. And I will reiterate in case you missed it. I'm drinking the Wild Turkey Long Branch release. The All Right Matthew McConaughey release. And it's good. I'm totally digging it. It's very smooth. It's got a double charcoal filtration thing going on. So it's a little smoky. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Swami's not drinking for 2 weeks. He must have had his fill on his road trip that he took with his beautiful wife. So
he says antibiotics.
Oh, antibiotics. Okay. Well, you know what? The STD will go away soon. Let's hope.
Ew. Ew. Although, really, let's segue that into a conversation because sometimes, you think, I'll just skip the protection.
Oh, I've done that before.
And you know better.
I've raw dogged it. In the moment, you're like, I don't have anything. And you're like,
and you want it so bad. You're like, it'll be fine. She smells fine enough.
Yeah, she doesn't smell like the outside of a bunny farm. Ugh.
Yeah, no, that's always a treat. Of course, the same can be said from her perspective, too.
Of course.
She's like, well, I don't see any weird bumps or gashes. So
now, see, back when our point of reference in all of this is different. Though I will say that back then that AIDS was very prevalent and there was a huge risk.
That was a big, big deal. And everybody panicked about it because you just didn't know entirely how contagious it was. So I definitely remember that being the subject of every conversation about, sexual safety that I ever had was you don't want AIDS.
Charles Ashworth says, the old sniff test. Hey, that'll only get you so far. You know what? Funny
that
thing.
only tells you so much. You cop a little bit of a feel, you take a peek, you sniff, and you think, all right, that's fine enough.
Chlamydia doesn't smell like a snail. So, you're still going to get it.
Yeah, Malta de Montreal, she doesn't smell of cod. He doesn't smell of balsamic vinegar.
What a perfect match. Isn't that how we met?
Cod and vinegar? Yeah, it was a fish market.
Yeah, that's right.
Although there are a lot of weird things guys can smell of, truly. Y'all aren't even half aware of it.
Yeah, I get it. Not a Great Gamer says, scratch and sniff.
Well, come on, y'all. Cough up some stories here. We get it. I know you've done it, though, and I want to hear about it.
Are you just talking about unprotected sex, or are you just sex mistakes?
Sex mistakes, although unprotected sex is a big mistake.
Well, that's a big mistake, yeah. I overextended myself one time with this one chick who I thought might be a little bit more into, what I'll call the dirtier things of life.
Yes.
Not so much.
And that is the worst. You try to ease into it a little bit and you think they're going to be into it and then they just go cold.
Yep.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, I just ruined that.
I just fucked that up.
Yes.
But you know what? It wouldn't have been a match anyway. So why...
because you're missing out on sex you could have had.
Well, yeah, but if it's just standard sex and you were expecting something a little bit more,
more
I'll call
funky.
it 6+.
Yeah.
Then you're like, then she can go fuck herself. You got a question here from Richie Z?
Yes, he's asking if I give the McConaughey bourbon a thumbs up. I absolutely do, Richie. I didn't think I would, but I totally do. The only thing I would change about this is that I'd give it a higher proof. I want a little bit more bang for my buck out of this. It's so super smooth that I almost don't feel like I'm drinking bourbon, but it still tastes delightful.
And Container Man nailed it. Yes. Bad mistake beats sex.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Totally awful. Nobody likes gritty
sand
sex.
everywhere.
Yeah. And you think it's going to be great. You've seen it in the movies. And then you get down into the sand and you're like, oh, wow, this hurts.
Well, for the woman, it's got to be a lot worse.
Oh, it's terrible.
For the guy, it's all about traction. You know, I mean, it's hard to get good traction out of the beach.
No, it's worse for the girl because things get stuck up in there that you don't want in there.
Oh, yeah. No one wants that.
Ow. You know what could kill sex when we're talking about, you know, like the getting into the funky stuff is accidentally saying the wrong thing during dirty talk.
Oh, during dirty talk?
Yeah. That can kill the mood instantly. And it's a totally innocent mistake.
Well, if a chick would ever call me daddy, that to me is a turnoff.
Oh my God.
That's like big time turnoff.
I would never do that.
Yeah.
That's just weird. Like, and that puts
it's
weird.
It's a big thing nowadays, though.
I get it, you know, like there's a whole daddy movement right now. Or what's the other word? Zaddy, Z-A-D-D-Y.
What the hell's a zaddy?
It's an older, distinguished gentleman with sex appeal. So think like Jeff Goldblum.
That's dumb.
Is that not the dumbest word ever? I don't know who comes up with this shit, but God damn it,
Post.
Stupid. Post. Yeah, that's it.
All right, so Charles Ashworth says drinking way too much Jack Daniels and waking up with a woman who was just as ugly when we went to bed.
Yeah, that's called, bourbon goggles.
Yeah. Charles also says sand fleas.
Oh, please, no, let's not go there because that's terrifying. That's an itch you cannot scratch. Let's just put it that way.
Not a Great Gamer says dirty talk. Ooh, I want to fart in your face and call you Aunt Matilda. Yeah.
Okay, you don't accidentally say that. That you say with intent.
Yeah, that's something that you probably have said before.
Yes, that's something that's been rattling around in that, hamster wheel of your brain.
Saying, oh my God, I can't wait to break this one out. Yeah, introducing dirty talk is kind of a weird thing because you gotta,
the right word.
Well, you gotta break it in slowly, right?
Again, you call a girl a slut in the moment, and she could wind up.
You call the wrong girl a slut?
She will punch you in the face. Not that I know from experience.
Uh-oh. Maybe that was a little early.
I called a girl a dirty slut in the moment once, and she just said, "What did you call me?" Yeah. I go, "A pretty little thing."
I never got called out for dirty talk, thankfully, because I think not that there's any mastery to it, but you slowly weave your way in. You don't take a girl to, popcorn and a movie and then go, touch my junk. You just, that's not the right play. Yeah.
No, it doesn't work that way.
It's not the play.
No.
You gotta have some common sense.
I have the giggles.
Oh, hey, you know what you need to talk about?
Tell me what I need to talk about.
Bourbon Soaked Live, the hashtag.
Well, let's talk about hashtag Bourbon Soaked Live. Hashtag Bourbon Soaked Live is our little getting to know you routine. You snap a photo or you make a meme, you post it to Twitter, only Twitter, with the hashtag Bourbon Soaked Live, and we will feature your ass on the show. It's pretty simple, right?
Yep, we have a whole bunch of ones here.
We've got a couple from the last episode that we, I don't know if we got to or not.
Did we get to Ginger and Will?
Ginger and Will is our favorite couple who I don't believe are tuned in tonight, which I'm going to have a talking to them.
Oof. I didn't know you were taking fucking roll call.
Oh, yeah, no, there is roll call, y'all. That's why I call you out. It's because I'm mentally taking notes. And if you don't show up, well, let's just say it's not going to end well for you. But yes, that is Bourbon Soaked Live. So if there's anything that you want to share with us tonight, maybe it's your cocktail, take a photo.
Oh, thank God you finished that sentence.
Yeah, I don't want to see a dick pic. I really don't. Although Twitter might. So you can go ahead and try that out and see how that works for you.
Now you're asking people to put dick pics as part of Bourbon Soak Live. You know what you're going to get.
I'm not
right?
the one who's going to shut it down.
This is true.
Twitter will get to it before I do. I guarantee you that.
So yes, and if you would also please like this stream if you like what you're hearing, and if you want to share it on social media, feel free. And if you're not subscribed, what the fuck's the matter with you?
Thank you. That I was about to say you're way too nice about this.
No,
just fucking do it already. So in case you're just tuning in, we're talking about mistakes. Bad mistakes. The things that you either accidentally do or the things that you look back on and say, oh, fuck, I knew better.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been talking about sexy mistakes. And I think sex toys are also another thing that could potentially be a huge problem. And I'm thinking not necessarily in introducing them to somebody who's not familiar with them, but in buying the wrong one. And I can say that with vibrators specifically. You buy the wrong vibrator and it's terrible. Sing
it, sister. The one that I bought, it didn't work really well.
Oh yeah, no, I know you're a huge vibrator dude. No, that's why you really need to. I mean, you can't really try them out entirely in the store
because you can't try them out in the
you
store.
You can turn them on. Certain stores let you turn them on.
Excuse me, man. You can't do that.
You can't. They will take them out of the packaging for you, put batteries in them so that you can feel how they vibrate.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't
because
know that.
It's the vibration. It's also the feel and shape of the gadget. It is the vibration that makes all the difference.
Okay.
I mean, me personally, I don't like the jackhammer ones. I mean, those things are ridiculous.
Yeah. I like to call them the home wreckers.
The home wreckers. I don't want a home wrecker. I think that is ludicrous.
The Dude Rocks just showed up. Hey,
hey,
good to see you.
Good to see you.
And Charles Ashworth says, 4-foot King Kong, not a good option.
Ooh, no.
At least not on the dildo.
I see Mike Meyer is calling out the Fee Waybill interview that we just did. We did that over on David the Producer's YouTube channel, and Fee was in the tubes, and he is such a cool guy.
Cool.
Just really great conversation, great stories. And I got to say, and I said it during the interview, I'll say it till the day I die, his new album, Fee Waybill Rides Again, is a killer rock album. Just solid rock and roll. And it sounds very modern. It doesn't have a dated sound. It doesn't feel like somebody's trying to pull something together from the 80s. It's very clean and new.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to do. Thanks for watching that. Very cool to do. Just hit 1K. Hey, congratulations. The Dude Rocks.
Oh, congratulations.
That is a big milestone.
Well done.
So the dude, he does everything from karaoke to he does... he has kind of hangout chats every now and again, but and of course he's a recycler. So you should go check out his channel. He's going to have a celebration stream later on, and we will absolutely try to hang out there tonight. So congrats.
Congrats. Now I see Inspired John has just wandered into our crazy little madhouse here, wanting to know what the fuck did he just step in. I couldn't even begin to explain it to you. This is what we do. We drink cocktails and we have conversation, and sometimes it kind of falls off the rails.
Yeah, and tonight we're talking about bad mistakes, so it's gonna fall off the rails.
It certainly could.
And you know what? We want to know, everyone in here, but the Shape stopped in. Hey,
Shape.
the Shape. What is your bad mistake that you've made in your life? It could be about anything.
Patrick Fulmer has one. He tried to take a defective vibrator back, and they said, "Get that thing out of here."
Yeah, you can't do that.
No.
You can't return sex toys.
No, that's
who would have thunk it?
That's not really standard practice.
No.
You know, I mean, nobody wants.
You bury him in the backyard.
I hear
like
my
all
anal
normal
beads.
People.
They didn't work out quite well.
Right. Hey, my anal beads are square.
Well, that you can see from the packaging. Although, you know, I will say you have to pay attention to things like that, because This one dumbass that I was dating was like, "Oh, here, look, I got us anal beads," and this was one of those random out of nowhere things.
Us, like you were going to try it on him too?
He said us. Now we never got to that point, but I take one look at these things, and I don't know what backwoods sex shop this asshole visited, but I look at them, and there are little knots like holding the balls in place that have pointy edges on them, like they'd been covered in some sort of like plastic or something, and they were sharp. And I said, you can stick these things as far up there as you want, and then you're going to cry because they will rip you from the inside out. He's like,
they were for him?
I just said that. I don't know if they were for him or not. I just wanted to make it very clear they were not coming anywhere near me. Because it had these sharp little edges on it. I mean, what idiot doesn't consider something like that when buying a sex toy?
And Charles Ashworth wants to know, can you return edible underwear? No, I'm going to go with a no on that. Just make it into Kool-Aid. That's all you can do.
There you go, Kool-Aid. Or you know what? I think actually you can turn them into fruit roll-ups.
There you go.
You can. The Shape says that explains why they wouldn't take that back at some pedals. They acted all weird when I said it's too big.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. I'm sorry to hear that.
You know, I always get weirded out just going into sex shops. If you don't go in as a couple, if you just go in as a guy.
Oh, yeah, you get eyeballed. Because I used to work at a sex shop.
Yeah, in LA.
Very briefly. That's one of my unfortunate career decisions.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a career decision.
Speaking of bad mistakes.
It was a horrible mistake. It was a stopgap. I was out of work. I needed something. And this weird little sex shop had an opening. So I took it. And it was horrible. I mean, the owner was a lech. And he used to sit in his back room watching everybody on a video camera, like me in particular, just sitting behind this counter. And guys would come in and they would just ask me to repeat things back to them. They'd be like, well, where can I find, the butt plugs? And I'd say, they're over there. They're like, well, where are they? What are they? Tell me more about them. Just to hear me say words.
Yeah.
It was so weird. It was creepy. And you know that these guys are just like getting all touchy-feely with themselves back there in the dark corners. Ugh.
Not a great gamer says they like to go into sex shops wearing nothing but a trench coat.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's
a great way to meet people.
It's very 70s pervert. It's not even like, the
2020.
Yeah, 2020 pervert.
No, the 2020 pervert wears jogger pants.
I didn't even think of that.
Oh my God. Now there's a style decision that's a mistake. Men in jogger pants.
Well, I think it's more common than you think.
No, I realize that. It's such a millennial look. But now you have to understand the distinction between jogger pants and sweatpants. Sweatpants are just sweatpants. And then there's track pants, which you wear for jogging. They usually have buttons on them so you can get your shoes around them. But jogger pants are stylish sweatpants. They're tapered. And then they end like just above the ankles, so that they're a little cropped. It's the dumbest look on a man ever.
You see Mike Meyer, what he said.
Mike Meyer, Juliette and I have led very different lives. Yet here we are together on Monday nights.
Charles Ashworth, yes. Very Pee Wee Herman, yes.
Oh, yeah. Pee Wee Herman, I adore him.
That was unfortunate. You whack off in a public movie theater.
He was in a public movie theater. I mean, it was a whack place. I mean, this is where you go to whack off.
No. He went to go see Bambi.
He did not go to see Bambi. He was in like a dirty movie theater.
I know. It was a porno theater.
Poor Pee Wee. I adore Pee Wee Herman. Now, Richie Z is asking, Juliette and David, what are your favorite bands of all time? Mine are Thin Lizzy, UFO, and Y&T.
Y&T, that's an interesting choice.
My favorite bands of all time, I would have to say Creedence and Three Dog Night and The Faces.
Yeah, Faces are definitely in my top 5.
Yeah.
The Beatles, definitely top 5. I mean, that's not a stretch. I'm not blazing any trails by saying the Beatles. But love them. Hate the Stones, so the Stones can go suck it. They're like, maybe come in at number 20.
I don't hate the Stones, but I don't love them either.
I don't hate them. I just don't like them anywhere near as $1 million.
Mhm.
But I'll throw in a curveball.
Curveball.
Squeeze.
Squeeze. There's a good band right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that we saw them live in Chicago just not too long.
Several times.
Yeah, and they were just amazing. Always just tight. And Glenn Tilbrook is a hell of a lyricist.
Oh my God. That guy can turn a phrase.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I'm not a huge pop music fan for the most part, but Squeeze is able to do something with it that's just so different. And it doesn't sound like pop, although it still has that melodic sort of catchiness to it.
All right, so I have a question for you.
You do.
As it relates to bad mistakes.
Okay, bring it on.
Have you ever been in a situation, I know I'm kind of setting you up in one way, but I may not fully know the answer.
I may shock you.
Have you ever overspent and knew that you were doing it and knew that you were making a mistake that you couldn't necessarily cover that expense?
I'm pretty calculated with how I buy things. I always know what I have, but I will say that the very first time that I had a personal shopper and stylist at Nordstrom.
Ooh, I'll never forget that day.
I went in with a budget in mind, and it was a little flexible. But the thing is, you don't realize just how much stuff you're going to be presented with. It's delightful. So at Nordstrom, they give you this huge private dressing room. I mean, we're talking like expansive with 20 different mirrors, and they bring you entire coordinated outfits and jewelry and shoes and handbags, and it's all designer. And I fell in love with pretty much everything that I saw. So I bought just about everything that I saw. And when she tallied it up, I actually had to go back and say, okay, wait, I got to pare this down a little bit, because even I knew that I could not legitimately spend as much money as she was about to charge me. So it was kind of mortifying for a moment, because I'm like, okay, no, wait, strike the sweater, strike the boots, until I had it worked down. And even then it was still a little over, but.
I mean, come on, everyone in the chat has to have an instance where you spent too much money when you knew that your budget couldn't allow for it, but you just wanted to really treat yourself, but you knew it was a bad mistake.
Well, you know what happens a lot of times with bourbon? I feel like people will buy the most expensive bourbon on the shelf thinking that that's going to make it the best bourbon.
Right.
And that's not necessarily true, because so many things affect the price of bourbon. Yeah, and most of all,
Marketing.
Store markup,
Marketing and markup.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen stores mark up a bottle of, like, say, Weller, like the pot still Weller, the bottom of the line Weller. It should be about $35. They'll mark it up to $120.
We've seen it.
Well,
you've seen aftermarket prices, right?
Oh, the aftermarket prices are ridiculous. You get one of the more coveted bottles of, say, like Booker's, and people are paying $2,000 to independent sellers for it, which is fucking stupid.
Yep. Oh, and Anthony, Red Way of Life. You keep changing your name, Anthony, and it kills me every time. He's here. He's joined us. And let's see. Are we missing anything from the chat? Oh, they're talking about more musical bands. Music. There's a lot of love for UFO. There's GNR, Camelot, Van Halen. You know what, Mike Meyer? I should have called up Van Halen. That was early stuff for me. I love all that.
Well, I'll tell you a mistake I've made is dating rock stars. That's never been particularly in my favor.
Well, you never learned from that mistake.
No, and that's another thing, is that you keep making the same fucking mistake over and over and over again. I did it for a good 30 years before I figured my shit out.
Right. But you know what? Those kinds of mistakes when it comes to relationships, it's hard to get out of a pattern.
Those are tricky, especially when it's like going back to an ex. I
never went back to an ex, not once, not one single time.
People do it all the time.
I know. I move on. They are swept under the rug, and I've left to die.
They're dead to you.
Yeah, they are dead to me.
Yeah, I always like going back to the familiarity of it, and with also the hope that perhaps this time it'll work. But you always know, you're like, oh, fuck, this is not a good idea.
Well, you know what? I should clarify. When I say dead to me, it's that I would never go back and date them again.
Right.
Have I remained friends with them? I remain. friends with a ton of women that I've dated along the
Oh
years.
yeah, not me. No, I went back, and then when that didn't work, then I just murdered the person so that I didn't have to look at them and know that they existed anymore.
Come on. You know what? Oh yeah, Shape, by the way, he says, Dave, I did not know you had a channel. I do. It's called David the Producer. I know I'm really original there. If you go out there, you could see a whole bunch of interviews that Juliette and I have done. We just did one with Fee Wable for the Tubes. We just interviewed
John Anderson.
Yes.
So is there any progress on your little pet project?
My pet project?
Yeah.
Yes. Hopefully within the next month, I'll be able to announce the one interview I've been working on for a while.
Oh, I didn't mean that one. I meant the one with the guy Motley Crue stole from.
Oh no, there's no. I don't have an update on that yet.
Okay.
But yeah.
Behind the scenes, David reaches out to every musician he's ever worked with and ever known, and just is like, "Hey, guy, coming up on my channel." And frequently they're like, "Sure, no problem." But then other times we have to kind of badger them a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So we'll see. But he's got a couple cool things in the works, and that's the David the Producer YouTube channel. It's like the speakeasy of YouTube.
Meaning that no one fucking watches it.
Where all the cool kids go.
We had Eric Roberts on there just recently from Batman. What was it? Dark Knight. Sorry, The Dark Knight. We had a bunch of cool people on there, so it's been a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun with it, and we don't treat that channel serious, right?
So I see we have some people talking about their experience with going back to relationships and girlfriends. Ooh. Richie Z says, "My bad mistakes, but I never regretted them. We're with girlfriends, no complaints whatsoever." Charles Ashworth says that's where my fish cleaning experience could come in handy, which you have no idea. And Patrick Fulmer says, "You burn the bridge, you scorch the earth of dating." And hell yeah, I wish that was easier to do.
Oh, Mike Meyer says, "Jack Blades, please." Actually, I toured with Jack Blades in 1984.
You did.
And I could probably get a hold of Jack.
I don't see why not.
Why don't we have him on the show?
That could be fun.
Yeah.
I would love to talk about Damn Yankees.
Literally since the end of the 80s. So that'd be fun.
I interviewed him.
That's a great idea.
And Ted Nugent back when they were doing Damn Yankees.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Great idea, Mike. I'll have to reach out to Jack, see how he's doing. He's probably not very busy touring right now, is my guess.
Nobody is.
I know, these poor musicians. Every single one that we talk to is, like Fee and John Anderson, they just put out albums and well, we can't even tour to support the album. So we're like stuck. And that's how they make their money.
I know. Well, I'll tell you what they're doing in New Orleans. These are just like the local bands. We're not talking about the big bands, but people have started having sort of walk-by concerts, I guess you could call them. And they'll put out, like a little trio or something on a porch or in the living room. They'll open up the windows, put out a jug for tips, and people walking by can, stop, listen, tip the band, and then move on. And I think it's genius because right now, these bands are not allowed to play in bars.
There's no bars that are open here.
So this is a great way for them to, put it live on Facebook. People can tip them digitally. And then you can also just be out there, on the street to catch somebody who's walking by and, give them a little bit of a, music to listen to. I love it. I think
it
is
brilliant. Amazing. And we saw on Saturday here in New Orleans, we ran across like an open porch party for an artist. And
yeah, she was it was a blues singer.
Right.
And she was amazing. Oh, that was such a great night.
Yeah, very cool.
And yes, Kurt, I did indeed interview Ted Nugent. This was back in my rock writer days. And
yeah,
he was super nice. I loved him. I thought he was a blast. I know he's gone a little edgy these days, I guess we could call him.
Politically, just a little.
I still think the guy is a hoot. I dig him.
He is. So Tommy Shaw is still doing the Styx revival thing. He is. The band is sounding better than ever. I haven't seen him live, but I've seen a couple tapes of some recent concerts, and they're just killing it. Yeah, they're doing great.
Yeah. Well, y'all, I think this has been a hell of a night.
I think we boiled the ocean. I hate when people say that.
I hate that phrase. Corporate jargon. fucking
I know.
boil the ocean. Let's parking lot this idea. We need to shift paradigms. Yeah, you know what? Shift this, motherfucker.
Wow.
This is why I don't work in the corporate world anymore.
Exactly. You have opinions.
I do. So next week, our topic will be knocked out. Yeah.
I don't even know what that means, but I'm looking forward to it.
It could mean all sorts of things, you know, like say getting punched right in the face.
Well, that's the pretty obvious one.
Or it could be knocked out by sexiness. Who knows? So you're going to want to come back next Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Time so that you can watch Bourbon Soak live. Now remember, subscribe to the fucking channel, like this goddamn video, and share it with all your fucking friends. It's not hard. I also have a podcast. It is called The Unwritable Rant. It is bourbon-soaked storytelling. So if you like the idea of, hearing a good story, then you're definitely going to want to check it out. It's available where all fine podcasts are found. There's also the David the Producer YouTube channel, which is where we do all of our crazy random interviews with some of our favorite musicians.
Yes. Yeah. And Charles is saying, we still got 10 minutes to go. Are we breaking for commercial?
Oh, you are so lucky.
Stern
you
taskmaster.
Changed up the commercial play here.
I know.
Yeah.
I deleted that.
I put the kibosh on Debbie Does Dental commercials.
Yes. Oh, son of a bitch.
That's all right. So, y'all, thank you so much for joining me. All of my favorite friends have been here tonight. Patrick Fulmer, Richie Z, Charles Ashworth, The Shape,
Not
Anthony,
a great gamer.
Redneck Way of Life, Redneck Gamer. No, not a great gamer who was here first. Ding, ding, ding. Ganna was here. Mike Meyer. Did I call out Richie Z? If I didn't, cheers to you. Kurt Robbins.
Yeah, Kurt Robbins was here. Yeah, very cool. And the dude rocks, of course.
Yeah, congratulations.
Go check him out tonight.
Yeah.
He'll be doing a celebration stream for hitting 1,000 subscribers.
Well done.
Cheers to you,
Cheers
sir.
To you. So, y'all, it has been a blast. Thanks for joining me. I will chat with y'all again next Monday night. Cheers.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.